Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Marion Smith. I am just impressed today to say something about Black History Month and my reflection on coming here in 1986. Now, I must say that I've seen so many changes. It's like unbelievable. I came here in 1986. I was recruited as a critical care nurse in coming here from Jamaica, West Indies. I came here with my undergrad in addition to my certification, postgrad certification in caring for the critically ill patient from the University of the West Indies. I was graduated many years ago from West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University. In coming here, there were so many changes that I encountered. There are so many things that baffled me. Yes, although I was a nurse for many years before coming here. However, I must hasten right now to acknowledge someone who passed a few years ago, since we're celebrating Black History Month, and this is the 54th year of Black history being celebrated in the United States. And we have come far. And if we study history, we must say thanks to our ancestors, thanks to those who have paved the way for us to reach this spot, this state, because many suffered, many were challenged. And in today's world, many of us are still being challenged. However, it's not as intense or as grave as it was then. It still happens, but we would say in subtle ways. So today, from my coming here in 1986, on my podcast Mayor, I just want to say a salute to many who helped me on this path. I will be acknowledging a nurse who passed. Her name is Marion Innis. She was a critical care nurse at a large hospital in New York City. And she had this about her. She was immaculate. She knew her stuff, critical care stuff, inside out. And in those days, they would swan patients right there in the critical care unit. It was one of the procedures that were on the technical side. And she knew it well. She took care of her IV sites. She took care of the poles on which the different tubes were hung. She was just exceptional when it comes to caring for her IVs and her swans. And I'll never forget her. Why? She would take the nurses, the junior nurses, and nurses who are being transferred from one area to the critical care unit. She would take them under her wing. She would also take the young doctors, the interns, and show them how things were done and the proper way, and never Never leave any blood in any of her tubing. Never. Make sure you flush. She was so meticulous. That nurse. She got ill and she passed. However, her name, when called at that hospital, will cause the eyes and every bulb to illuminate. Her life as a nurse was so impactful, not just to nurses, but to the team, from leadership down. But one of the jokes that we had, although she was such an outstanding critical care nurse, she didn't like to drive. That was on the down part of her. And she would say it. And she had a loud mouth, and she would say it clearly. Her son would pick her up from work or bring her to work. It was just so interesting. She was a woman of, she was a valor. She was strong, resilient, yet she had that area of her that she wasn't comfortable with, that was driving. And that amazed us all. So today, as we celebrate Black History Month, I identified before Mary Seacole. We know that Florence was the lady with the lamp, the nurse who passed on so much for us to follow, who have paved the way for us to render high quality care. And if you remember her story at the Crimean War, you realize infection was terrible. And she ensured that hand hygiene was critical to ensure that the transmission of diseases, that the transmission was alleviated. Just simple hand hygiene, the prevention of the spread of the disease organisms. I'm excited today to remind my young nurses, my healthcare personnel, how important it is, as basic as it might seem. Maybe someone's saying right now, why is she talking about that? It's so simple. But I must tell you that not everyone practices hand hygiene as it should have been. So my patient has the right to say to whoever it is, if they didn't wash their hand, please wash your hand. And that's important. So as we celebrate Black History Month, I just want to acknowledge all those nurses who have paved the way for others and who have helped and who have been discriminated, and yet they continue. They have been resilient in ensuring that they continue the legacy of providing high quality care to all patients. And that's intriguing because it doesn't matter. It does matter your color, your ethnicity, your race, your orientation, and more. It's important for every patient to receive high quality care. Why? Every patient deserves high quality care. So So I want to say thanks to all our nurses, including our colored nurses, who have been contributing to the health of locally, nationally, and internationally. So thanks, and keep going, keep doing, keep improving yourself, keep advocating for the patient as well as yourself. At the end of it all, you will be thrilled. You will be satisfied. The patient will be satisfied. The healthcare facility in which you work will be elevated. Yes. And that does affect the economy. Yes, you know that. It does affect the economy. So, how can you get in touch with me? Now, I would like you to visit the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, and just insert in the search bar Marion Amanda Smith and subscribe. I certainly will appreciate that. Podcast Mirror, you can DM me. There's so much. I'm also on LinkedIn, on Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple. Podcast, you just got it right. Empowering You Nurses. Podcast by Dr. Marion Amanda Smith. And you'll certainly find me there. There's so much to offer on my website. Also, if you're struggling with EKG, for example, analyzing or interpreting it, you can DM me. You can have a one-on-one, or if you want to be in a group, you can do any of that. So I look forward to hearing from you. And do have a great and enjoyable Black History Month. Make sure you're a contributor and you're such a positive role model that others will want to emulate you. Thank you. Dr. Marion Smith.